Hi, everybody. Okay, let's just get started really quick while everyone's here because today's show is kind of like one of the typical things most men and women don't understand that's going on, but it's affecting everybody. And so I'm going to let it rip here today. I'm going to give a lot of clarity. You're going to be able to, like, oh my God, I knew that was so messed up, but like, how come I couldn't put my finger on it? How come I couldn't really see it? That's because that's actually what I do. For those that don't know, that have come here, I'm not just a regular person at all. Hold on. Let me just make sure I'm really alert for everybody. I started this channel because I was born with the ability to be able to see things that most people with the naked eye, they can't see. So what that's called is a Heyoka empath. I'm a Heyoka empath. Now, you can YouTube all the special things that are involved in a Heyoka empath, et cetera, but just to tell everybody, and so we can get right into what it is that we need to reveal to the masses. And I do mean reveal to the masses today, because as long as you are in the dark, you're teaching your kids also to be in the dark. The people around you continue to be in the dark, which means when you listen to someone that resonates with you and you are seeing things very clearly, it's going to be like they almost think that you drank something, and not that you're hallucinating because it makes too much sense, but it's almost going to be like, what planet are you from? Like, this is the way most people work. So don't be telling me all this stuff. It's going to screw up my head. Yes. What it does is it actually makes them doubt. It collapses their structure of how they see things, because now their voice is saying, wait a minute. What they're saying makes a lot of sense. So if that makes sense, and everything else that I thought was this is not that. And some people call that waking up. Some people call it other things. One second, I'm just going to adjust myself just a little bit here because I just don't want my hair in the way for you. So when I'm done, and usually the way I go is I give you a bunch of stuff to gnaw on, to really think about. You're going to see, it's going to hit. You're going to see that's why you actually felt like coming here today as well. You're going to say, oh my God, this is so weird. She's talking about exactly what I'm going through. I've been asking, I've been praying, I don't understand. And people talk about this all the time, but why is it the way she's saying it? Why is that making me feel a certain way? And that's because when someone says something to you that hits you on a soul level, it means it hits you on an energetic level. And if it hits you on an energetic level, there's nothing that is more truthful than that. Why? Because your energies, they can't hide, they can't lie, and they can't die. So when your ears hear insight that comes from a certain energy that matches a deep truth underneath you that you didn't even know how to peg and how to put your finger on, you wake up, you're like, whoa. Something inside you is like, whoa, what? I'm just trying to make sure you can see me clearly here, okay? Because I am outside. It's such a beautiful day. If you can't see me clearly, Tanya, oh my God, my client from like another lifetime. Is that you? Oh my God, it's been so long. Hi, Sherry. I'm glad you're here. Oh my God, it's so nice to see all of you. Okay, so I'm so happy you're here. Okay, so this is going to be a really I want to say heavy duty, but it's more like the heavy duty inside you is going to be uplifted and ejected, like just like a fighter plane, a jet plane, where the guy gets ejected, you're going to get ejected, because everything that's a part of your life, I guarantee you, is anchoring you into the ground, is anchoring you into ungrounded energy. That's so fucking key. I can't tell you, if anything is off in your life, anything is off, let me make sure I'm loud enough. If anything is off in your life, it is due for one reason. Yes, there's a misalignment. Yes, there's people. Yes, there's things. Yes, money. Yes, place, whatever. But if you want to look at the core of what that actually is, it is called ungrounded energy. That's all you need to be fucked. Now, what I do is I make sure you can see what ungrounded energy friggin' looks like. Otherwise, it's going to feel normal. And when that which is toxic feels normal, what do? You attract more, which tells your brain this is the reality, and it's not. It's a distorted type of thing. And so for those that don't know, I'm a Heyoka empath, and I have my notes here for the whole live. I wanted to say show because to me it's like a big show. So let's start from the beginning, okay? I don't waste time on surface takes and recycled advice. You won't get that with me. That's why when you hear something from me, you'll also notice that you cannot Google search that. You might hear someone talk about the same topic, but when I explain it, when I speak it out, you'll go, wait a minute. The other person talked about this, but wait, this is making sense. Why? Because they're missing the missing ingredients, which is the energetic gap between the dynamics that make it so. So let me explain. I basically just walk through the fog and name what's really there. I don't care what it looks like. You'll know because it'll hit you in the fucking face. It'll just hit you. It'll be like a nice cosmic slap. The hidden patterns, the distortions, the double edge that no one else wants to even friggin' touch, I touch those. So when I talk about those things, people begin to, I'm going to see if I can put my hand higher, maybe. Hold on. Is this, maybe I can just do it like this? Oh, maybe that's better. You guys make me feel so valued. Thank you. So when I speak about something, people recognize it right away. Okay. Because deep down, they already know it. They know it. That's why it hits so hard. It's not new. It's just what's buried under their distortion. So my work is about bringing clarity forward, and you can't mistake clarity because you would have to instantly be happy. Even if it's about someone with you, someone that hurts you, someone that did something, toxic family, when you have clarity, there's no more pain. There's no more pain, baby. You know how it says in the Bible, and I'm not a religious person at all, but you know how it says in the Bible, the truth shall set you free? Do you ever wonder why it says that? How is it that he cheated on me, sets me free? Haven't you ever challenged that? Or have you just taken a blind eye and a blind mind and said, yeah, okay, it sets me free, but I don't really believe it. Okay, yeah, but I won't tell anybody. It's true. But nobody's ever given you the clarity for you to see. Now, when I say the highest truth, I don't mean the big picture, he wasn't meant to be with you, she wasn't meant. I don't mean the stuff that if you know it, it still hurts you. I mean the real juicy sauce of the power where you hear it and you're like, whoa. I had a beautiful clients. All my clients are fucking beautiful women. They are. Like, I should do a beauty pageant or something. She was very disheartened. She has realized that someone's true colors, the way he really is coming out. And she was very, very in not a good place, distraught, all those nice labels of doomsday. telling her the clarity, which I knew was her from past lives. Now, and unfortunately, a lot of people who don't understand what I do and hear the word past lives, they get very scared. They think of curses, they think of people who do dark energy stuff. That's not me. Please understand, that's not me. You're not going to be able to know it for sure until you actually come to me or experience me, because I wouldn't be, to say gifted is such an understatement. I wouldn't be able to assist now over 3,000 clients, but never mind every single person I actually contact outside in the street my whole life since I was 4. But you wouldn't be able to give people insight, which is something you can't see from the naked eye, which is like a key that unlocks the energies holding pain, shame, guilt, and blame. That's what that does. That's only insight. It's not more data. Data doesn't internally shift you. Data is good as long as you can commit it to memory, but guess what? When someone fucks with you and you're upset, the memory goes out the window. Why? Because the sensation of your pain overrules your mind's logic, because pain has its own power. So your logic is running in circles. Hello, you're supposed to remember this note. Like when someone treats you like this, narcissist or whatever, you're supposed to say this and that. It won't happen, but it will if you've already internally shifted, because their frequency and their shade and whatever they're sending to me, to you, to us, it doesn't stick. It can't stick. You ever wonder how some people can just let people say shit and it doesn't touch them? Because internally they're aligned. When you're aligned, you can't get triggered by something says, because if they're triggering you by something someone says, it is because the past part of you makes a % of that true. So you're feeling guilty about it, or you're feeling you're still under the thumb of that. That's the only reason. Once you've moved past that and you've let your old version die, the past is not with you anymore. They can say fuck all. It doesn't, it's like they're talking about someone else. You don't recognize it as true. So I've done a couple of vids. I've got 2 channels on TikTok, one 154K. I love Heyoka. There's a bunch of vids, like thousands of them, because I started like 3 years ago. And then a new fresh channel called True Light. And then of course here, this is my fam. This is, TikTok got very dark for me with what they're showing and not showing. And even when I talked about bullying and black sheep, especially where children are concerned, they asked me to take that video down because of the term bullying. So to me, when certain platforms are owned in a way where good shit can't be talked about, it's time to pivot. And although I pivoted earlier because there was something else that made me pivot, and I wondered what the fuck is going on, I just went, well, and I actually wanted to focus on my Instagram. And then that first night, everything went down all like ass backwards. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're on YouTube. And then I found my home base. You people are so homegrown. You're not flippity. You're not, I love you. You're like, you're my favorite new friend. And, you know, until the next person comes, you're like, I want to see what this chick's about. I don't know. Let me keep listening. Oh, wow. That threw a wrench in the way I see it. But shit, why is it making me feel better listening to her? Why do I love her fucking energy? And that's just the thing. You cannot be dark and have an energy that resonates with people's hearts. You can't. You can't. It's not to say you won't get emotional when people try to hurt you on purpose. But it does tell you that you're still in a past zone. What happened to you when you were young, the messages, all the filters, the funnels that was streaming into your heart instead of your heart streaming through a tube into your own heart, that got a clamp on it. And that will happen with every woman that is living in her masculine, which protects herself, which what this whole life is about. Why do strong women and men totally collide. I can't wait to fucking rip this apart. So let me just continue. Any questions, please just write it down. I just need you to understand that my work is about bringing a certain clarity that frees you from the pain you're feeling now. It's not a data. Data doesn't free feelings. Data makes you understand the label of that feeling and who caused it to you with a big finger, meaning you're a victim ass. And then that makes you sort of feel okay because you're thinking, I have more knowledge. I'm the one that knows, they are nothing, or whatever ego-based led thought you're going to think, but you'll still crumble inside. You haven't shifted. The needle hasn't moved inside you. That's a sad part. So the work that I do brings, very simply, a clarity that changes. Not your perspective, not your perception, but your internal fucking fortress, your internal blueprint, so that they can't find your map. They can't terrorize your landscape. They can't send a bomb there. Because now you're present and you're lit. When you're lit, how can darkness exist? And I'm feeling, because as a Heyoka empath, I'm feeling those that are here, there's pain. So I'll just cry through those whole things. Those that know me know that if you're feeling pain, you're still in that. I need to bring the clarity forward so people finally see what's been shaping their lives all along. So what I do is I move through these toxic theater dilemmas of family and loved ones, of distortion, projection, manipulation, fog, and confusion. And I actually expose what's behind it. That's all I do. That's what I do. So even though most people can sense something's off, they can't name it. And because they're in their logic, or as a guy, they're way too emotional, they can't name it, what's off. So they discard it. It loses power. That's where I come in. I put a language to the unseen. That's just what I do. I don't come from textbooks, labels, or institutions. I come from a lived knowing and from seeing the same patterns repeat across people, relationships, and generations. When I talk about these things, people recognize themselves instantly. And the feedback will be there. It's kind of like a mirror suddenly wiped clean. You can see there was a spot. You can see someone bled on it. It's not your pain, which a lot of my masculine women, my strong women, if I can just, out of this whole life, if you can just get this one thing, you're so going to be ahead of the curve, it's not even funny. And here's what it is. Your pain, the action they took, what they did and all that, your pain is your truth. It's what you're going through right now. It's your feelings of what they did. So your truth is not their pain. It's not. Your truth, what they caused, is not their pain. Do you notice they will mix it up together? Because they will tell you that when you tell them it hurts you, it causes them pain. Is anybody awake? Can anybody see that that's not normal? That when someone causes you pain and then you tell them and they go, oh, that's not nice to tell me, like, oh, I feel bad now. Well, I hope so. Maybe you'll, I don't know, level up, don't do it, change. But that's because feminine men, they cannot separate themselves from their actions and say, oh, that was a poorly led action. It made her uncomfortable. They will do it. They are rolled up with what they do because they are in a past energy. They're not present in a man. They are a man-child. They are a child in a man's body. It's very, very warped. Very, very. So again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about cutting through what's false. So what is real can actually finally stand on its own. That's the whole game. So I cut through that distortion. So clarity can finally speak. and you will feel very relieved when you hear it. I name what others feel but can't put into words. And cutting through that fog, it brings back what is real. No theories, no labels, straight to the unseen. Now, this live that we're doing today, I really need the men to hear it, because it's something that puts a lot of men in the dark. It puts a lot of men in the dark. The women are in the dark, and they're also in pain because they have no idea of what they're doing. So let me put it to you this way, okay? And it's interesting because I have about 77% of men that are part of my channel, hardly any women. I think that's kind of really cool. It's not that I didn't have objections from some of them. That's okay, but what I'm going to tackle today is why masculine women don't feel safe to be themselves, and why men are missing it. That's key. I hope you can see me. I really want to be out here in the light. It's just a little dark for me to see, but I will trust that you can see me. If we have to go in, we'll go in. I really need to talk directly to my men here, okay? Me to you. Just block out the world for a second. Hear my words and let me know how it sits with you, okay? Most of what you've been told about women today, it's a lie. There's so much fucking substance that's been conveniently left out to screw you over, to confuse you, because when you are confused, there will be doubt. And that doubt usually comes from ourselves. And when a man is in doubt, he's no longer man material, because men are leaders. And that's exactly why those on top want all this to happen. So the so-called masculine women of today that you see, they aren't angry. They aren't angry. They aren't rejecting you. They are defending themselves in a field that has never held them. Masculine energy. Never held them. Every sharp word, every wall that you come across, every hardened edge is, here's the key, is a mirror. It is showing you the truth about yourself, dude, your energy, your presence, your clarity. Now, if you think, or I should say therefore lack of, if you think pushing harder, asserting dominance, or being the man will fix it, you are in the dark. What that does is it adds weight, resistance, and separation, because you got to remember, she's in a masculine energy. She's in logic, which means she's silently in competition with your logic. She won't listen to what you say. She's in a place where she doesn't feel safe to. Airplane! And of course, you know, the other time, I think it was Sunday, we had such a wicked, amazing live, almost 5,000 people. And what happened when I was talking about something critical like this? Fucking the whole complex had a fire alarm, like whatever. It was hilarious. All my clients were like, say hi to the fire alarm. It was like hilarious. The women that you want to reach, that you need to reach, the ones who carry this armor, this shell, this prickliness, they're waiting for something else entirely different from you. They are waiting for clarity, for a rooted presence, for men who are visible in their own energy and unmoving in their truth, which means you're not threatened. You don't have to pound her down. You don't have to dismiss her. You don't have to put her down. There is nothing more powerful than the truth in a man who knows his shit. It's quite beautiful to behold. This isn't about control. It's about grounding. And this is about showing up with an energy that doesn't waver no matter what. It doesn't seek to manipulate. It doesn't need to compete with her. Which, if you're drawn to a masculine bitch like this, I guarantee you, your feminine energy is distorting your presence. This is why you were pulled to the opposite. Because you won't get what you want. You'll get the opposite of what you are. So if you're too emotional as a man, too sensitive as a man, and we're not saying you have to be all in your logic and be sterile as fuck. Of course, we're not talking about that. But here's the difference, and this is key, and I pray that there is at least one man here to hear this. When you are wearing your birth sex energy, meaning like you came with a penis, right, that leads you, when you are, and there is a wisdom to the penis, by the way, I wrote a whole book about it. It's on Amazon. And when I do a live show on that, no one will argue with me because I'm talking about a hidden truth that nobody talks about. So there is a wisdom to the penis. For that reason alone, I would get the book. It's a game changer. It's on Amazon. That was my first book I wrote. It took me 12 years and 3 to edit. It's done a lot of things. It's deep, it's funny, it's in slang. You're going to look younger by the time you finish it because I have designed it in a way that it takes you back to when you were a young adult, where everything from the conditioning of your family and parents cemented in your energy. And that's really the filter of which you see life now. And that really is pulling to you more suffering. So when you, as a man, are wearing your masculine energy, and it's a protective gear, it means that your feminine energy is in a safe place. It can't be overly sensitive because it's taken care of. Because your masculine energy is dominating you. Because you are biologically, physiologically, spiritually, and mentally and intellectually wired to be a masculine energy. Which means your logic, it gives you clarity. It grounds your balls, your ass. You don't just give them to hand them over to your woman. But you will if you've attracted the opposite because your masculine is sitting and shoved inside and you're wearing your feelings on the other side. And most likely you will be addicted to something. So, video games, porn, crack, drugs. This is play number 2 because it's so important, because nobody addresses this with the 12 steps. Nobody does. When a man is dominated by his feminine energy, he is swimming in his feels. He is not in control of his emotions. These are the men who, when a woman says one word, that lights up an avalanche of a tornado, and he may hurt because of a word. He may have to hurt her because that word that traveled through the air, I don't know, cut off his dick and it rolled out the door, or more severe. Because he's not present. It wasn't that word and it wasn't her, but she is a stand-in for a mother role, of which that mother pounded him or neglected him or smothered him, one of the 3. And so those are the men that are abusive, which I don't even like to use that word. They are not in control of their own dominion. So how can you hope to control a woman? And when I say control a woman, I don't mean put her, with a muzzle. I mean your own presence and strengths enables her to feel safe enough that she doesn't go crazy and she doesn't feel she has to test you. Human nature is such that it can feel where you are weak. It just can. And when we are tired or when we are not feeling one with us, or I'll say one with God, one with source, a place, a career where we are feeling of immense value, well, we have to stab someone verbally, dismissively, something, comparison, something. So the reason why, and again, this is through a Heyoka lens, the insight that I receive, and I've been receiving them since I was 4. So much so that when I talk to rabbis, when I talk to priests, they couldn't answer me. They called me a dangerous child. If I didn't know myself, I would have mental issues. It wasn't until later that when I was burying my family, my parents, that I asked their friends, because I always felt none of their friends ever talked and connected with me. They only did it with other siblings and the other kids there, the functions, wherever we were. I was like sitting there in the corner, literally observing. And she brought it up because I said, like none of you ever talked to me, like, what the fuck, right? But I was very, was that a fire alarm? I wouldn't be surprised. She said, it's not that you were bad. It's not that you were bad, Michal. Michal is my birth name. Although I went for many years as Nicole, which everybody has a name that means something. Vibrationally, melodically, Latin history. The name Nicole means literally voice of the people, victory of the people, masculine energy, Joan of Arc type thing. The name Michal, which was the first queen of King David, it means who is like God. When I say that, it's a question. It's a question. My name makes us question, who is like God? I believe we are all like God, because we're all a part of that consciousness that is God. We cannot be apart from God, which my 3rd book, Supernatural Badass, I will take a deep dive into, because I believe we've been poisoned. I believe we've been falsified to our true inheritance, to our true humility of the power we are about. To believe that the power is out there in a building and that we don't get to be part of our own power if we misbehave. Therefore, that power has to be caged in such a way to make you fearful so that you would not be connected to that warmth and power if you disobey. But here's the thing. Those that disobey already feel like they're on the outside in the cold. See, those that feel love don't have a need to break the fucking rules. They're happy, they have everything. So that book, Supernatural Badass, I'm about halfway through that one. And I'm going to get some very big people behind that one because it's going to shake up a lot of things. I kid you not. The reason I talk about addictions and men who are dominated by their feminine energy is because when a man is overwhelmed and his body is not meant to process and absorb emotions the way a woman's body that is estrogen based is, he will go crazy. So what is an addiction? Yes, it gets you to escape from, when a man's in his feelings, it's not that he has more feelings for you. It's that he's drowning in negative feelings about him and his past. And he's in 2 timelines. So he's not really here. He's scared that the past will be repeated and therefore terrified of the future. So he's back there and over there, simultaneously, which means he can't be present. Where no past memory, you're clean, you're like a baby, you're eager for life. You're fucking ghost, dude. That's why you need to escape. But that's not the root. Here's the root. What does cocaine, drinking, video games, porn, workaholic, whatever it is that you do, why is that connected to a man who is drowning in his feels? Because he needs something to bring him present. And what brings you present is physically using your body, because your body's not back there. Your body's the only thing that's present. So when you are constantly drinking, it's not the alcohol and just disappearing. It's a repetitive moment that brings you here, that stops all that back there. Video, focus, repeated action, present. Porn, focus, repeated action, present. That's all. It brings you present while doing something negative, because you have no way of getting present, because you don't feel you deserve to be. As long as things were done to you and you do not see the clarity behind it, and that's why I go into past lives, not to look, oh, this was a story and you met this person and then you had sex and then you murdered her. When I say past lives, I mean the traits that you've accumulated over many lifetimes that will just so make sense, that will stop your pain fucking instantly the moment you hear it, because it's where all your landmines are here, but you don't recognize who planted them. What trait in you are clinging to you that makes it happen here? That's what I do. So it's not any forbidden shit. It's very scientific. I just happen to be able to see it. Super helpful. I'll give you an example, okay? I had a woman, they told her she had OPCD and all these things because she had to have everything in order, the salt next to the pepper exactly 2 inches apart, those type of people. These labels that therapy puts on you do not rid you of whatever it is you're going to. They give you tools, so-called tools and drugs to deal with the ailment that would be gone if you just went to the fucking root. Lives snatched. What's the word? Sorry. I want to say smashed and snatched. As a Heyoka empath, you must know I'm dyslexic, so all of them are. We get knowledge from a different way, so we don't think normally. We can't even speak normally. And I won't even use the excuse that this is not my first language, because obviously I sound like I speak normally, but this is not my first language. And I don't like it when people call me Yoda, because the pointy ears and all those wrinkles, like that's enough to turn me off. But I've been called that since a long time ago. But it's kind of like that lady when I was burying my parents. I know I drifted off to tangents. I am the tangent queen. She explained to me, she says, it's not that you're bad. It's just that you could see into an adult, and the questions that came out of your mouth, no one knew how to answer you because we couldn't understand how you could see it. Can you imagine what that would have done to a normal kid? Never mind when Oliver Twist was part of like big production and I tried out for Nancy, I got fucking the old man. I got the fucking Fagin. That's who they, and Fagin. And what does Fagin do? He handles all the lost boys. And I just thought that was hilarious. Oh, and then if that wasn't bad, I tried out for Charlie Brown's Lucy. I tried out for Lucy and I got the fucking dog. I got Snoopy. So, I really could have been a head case had I not known who I am and what I am, and had I not passed judgment. See, you cannot have these gifts not be initiated, forged. Because when are the diamonds most lit? When do you see the diamonds? What do they need to be seen? They need the perfect backdrop. And what is that? Darkness. Darkness, if it doesn't crush you. It's like a piece of coal. It's like the more pressure, the more you shine, if it doesn't crush you. And to get to that other side where you shine, you would need clarity. So in the interim of all my travels, and it's now almost 3 years that I've been traveling from one country to another, talking about my first book, The Wisdom of the Penis, SOS Manual for sure. It talks about how masculine and feminine energy first got started and the typical things that are going on. The recent book that I released, and you can check it out at my store.nicolecoleman.com. That is called Sacred and Feral, and that's about a woman owning her flame, giving their balls back to their men. It's about everything that's happening now. It's a very fun book to read also. It's hilarious. You will heal as you read it. Why? Because you're going to laugh your ass off in such a way that the current situation that is really hurting you, because it's described in such a way, in such a description of humor and adjectives and adverbs, that it's very cartoon-like how I describe the scenarios, that you will have already collapsed time, and the stuff that you're going through right now, it's almost as if you're looking back at it from 20 years forward, and it doesn't mean the pain isn't, it's not fresh. It's kind of stale, and it's being burnt up in the sun, and that's what this book does. That's the biggest feedback that I'm getting, other than all the wonderful words and thank you. And the last live, we had a milestone. It was like the highest amount of sales that I could ever have, even imagine, for this book. And I'm getting such great feedback. And if you'd like, go to my store and just read a few pages and just see how it grips you in a good place. And you'll know right away, because the energy of the book will hit you before the words do. I don't write intellectually. I write insightfully. It has to shift you inside. So when, just getting back to what I was saying, when as a man, the feminine energy of yours, which is your heart, you wear it on the fucking outside, you're too sensitive. You can't tell someone's about to screw with you. You're gullible. And that's why you then become like the monster of monsters, and you end up hurting actually those that don't want to hurt you. But by then it's like, it's such a cement way that you have it inside you at this point that it can't change. It's just a safety latch. And that's how the masculine women operate. And so the two of you, she's hyper unemotional, and everything is through mind, feels nothing, looks pragmatically at you, feels nothing. And therefore you have to overfeel, because you're not getting what you need from her in order to spike your logic. Because you have to understand, as a man, your heart, which is the feminine energy, and this is why men just don't fall in love with anyone they screw, but a woman can. If you're a woman and you've gone to sleep with the same guy and it's almost a month, yeah, that oxytocin is a very powerful drug, and you can't fuck with that. You will bond to that man. There's no ifs about it. You will bond to that man, because we don't fall in love. It's not a decision of the brain for us. Our body bonds to him. He can look like a donkey's ass. It really doesn't matter. We just go get a wax job. But I'm letting you know, it will not matter. So each of you are like the desert, trying to get some kind of nourishment, which is not possible from the other. And so it becomes a boxing match. So the one thing that you need to understand with the masculine women of today is we need you to show up in an energy that doesn't waver. Consistency is key. Her nervous system is completely fucked up, which is why she's locked in her brain and can't get out of her mind, because she has not had consistency, because masculine energy is solid. It's consistent. It doesn't mean you're a robot. It doesn't mean you don't have your off day, but it means you know how to control your feelings. It means when you have an issue to deal with, you clock it in at 4 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, or a time. It doesn't run you. It doesn't like have you like this. You have it like this, and you're like, no, bitch, I deal with you then after I'm done having dinner with my family and I've gone out for golf or whatever. Now I fucking tackle your ass, and I'm giving myself 20 minutes to deal with it. And you're very clear and you're very secure with your own self. So that's why it works. It's not about a masculine woman, she can't change and she can't deal with a man who seeks to manipulate. She needs a man who doesn't need to compete. That dissolves the armor without effort. The man who understands this will actually stop trying to win her and will actually change her that way. You'll stop trying to fight the edge that you are looking at. And what happens is that you will actually, for her, hold the field clearly so that it's unwavering, it's grounded, and you just watch how her softness just fucking unfolds like, oh, I don't know. Like a petal that's already been opened, but then just closed for the wrapping, and then boom, 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 boom. That's how it'll go. The radiance, everything starts to emerge naturally from her. But until then, the cycle will repeat. But the moment a man can truly hold that clarity, he knows who he is. He knows his role. And when I say role, it's not restrictive. It's to be honored. If your woman can't look up to you, dude, if she secretly finds you annoying because you're too fucking emotional, which means she has to be harder, she won't end up with you. I don't care if she can stay with you for 12 years. She won't end up with you because you're like oyster snot. I don't know how else to tell you, because she's not going to tell you. But the moment you can hold that clarity, safety, your presence, that dynamic between you and her will change instantly. And then nothing, and I do mean nothing, will ever be the same. So, a couple things to keep in mind. Armor and hardness equals a mirror of the missing male clarity. That's what she's missing in you. She's a mirror to what she's not seeing in you. That's all that is. Force, assertion, dominance equals wrong fucking approach. Grounded, visible energy dissolves her resistance because she feels safe. Softening then comes naturally when the field supports it and she can put down her fucking sword. You don't have to worry about your nuts being pierced. It'll just be healthy. Polarity is restored through clarity, not effort and not control. So, just to recap, men often will misread this as a challenge instead of just a mirror. Assertiveness, forceful responses will only create more hardness from her, because in her mind, she's in a male mentality. So what are you doing trying to tell her what to do? That's why women like this, when you are trying to be protective, but you're like zero backbone, you're like a jellyfish, but you're trying to be protective, will come across for her as, what are you trying to be, my fucking father? Like, what are you doing? It's annoying to her because the energy isn't solidified. It's false. It's fake as fuck. Because it's easy for you to say, oh, I'm worried about you, or, call me when you get, it's annoying because she doesn't respect you, because that's not solid, true, and true. True energetic safety is what invites feminine softness. That's the bottom line. So let's tap off, and then I'm going to answer all. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I can't wait to read all these. Just keep them coming. I'm just going to, you know what I'll do? I'm just going to write the top 20 I had in my mind. And then I'm going to answer a bit. And then if we need more insight and knowledge, we'll do that. Or we'll handle the rest with me answering. Okay? How about that? All right, let's do that. Now, number one, I know you all really good with bullets. Masculine women carry overfunctioning energy. And dude, yeah, go grab your girlfriend. She never listens to you because you're right with this. Because she will listen to another bitch bitching on her like me. She will. She will. You know why she will? Because she will listen to me 3 minutes. She will look at my face. She will feel my energy. She knows I'm not to be fucked with. She'll know she feels safe with me. She'll know she can put her sword down with me. She'll know she can be sensitive with me because I can feel her pain. So go get her. I'll wait. This is just like too fucking important. Next. So masculine women energy will carry an overfunctioning energy and a problem sleeping, anxiousness, and or needing to control things. One overflows into the other. Solving, protecting, predicting, and that leaves their feminine trapped on the inside. Because as long as she has to control in her outside world, because you, and I don't know if you know this, masculine energy in a man is what represents to us world energy. This is not written anywhere. This is my insight. And if you're getting chills, then it resonates with your heart and soul. When a little girl is brought into this world, she needs the masculine energy from her father to kiss and wake up her feminine energy so that it rises into her regal bearing to her throne. His masculine energy, when he kisses and releases it, it releases her feminine energy instantaneously because she feels safe. When a woman does not feel safe with her father because he's not around, because he's harsh, because he's too soft, because the mother's domineering, because the mother's cold for all her reasons, and that man doesn't give that girl safety, that blanket, which is the man covering with her nakedness of her feminine energy, it has holes, it's smelly, it's ripped, it's shattered, she only has a tiny piece of it. That's life. That's life for her. And so she doesn't have that warmth. Do you think she doesn't need to predict, fucking listen to tarot card readers every day, fucking analyze you from A to B, fucking read every book about how to tell if he's going to fuck me over? Because her body, which lights up like a Christmas tree, would tell her in a second. If there's any falsities about you, not about perfect or not perfect, if there's anything that doesn't match her soul's imprint, doesn't matter what watch you're wearing, it's not going to go. But her divine feminine did not get a chance to grow that Christmas tree, to have all those lights working so that she's receiving, as soon as she's in front of a man, everything she needs to receive to know. To know. Why do you think a little child, especially a little girl, she doesn't go into a meeting or a date like a masculine energy woman does and asks, I wonder if he can screw me over, or let me look at this, and I learned this from the last one, of which she attracted the same one now because she hasn't changed. If you have to worry, you haven't changed. Feminine energy doesn't worry because feminine energy's fucking whole body is synced with serendipity, magic shit happening. Let me just say a couple things about that. We had such an amazing live, and one of my clients, and such a beautiful soul, she's here right now, but I'm just going to keep it private. She said, right after the live, oh my God, it's like a miracle happened during the live. This and this and this happened. It had to do with money. I'm not going to give away that, but, and not only that, then when I watched the replay, the same miracle happened, blah, 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 blah. Another client, when I saw her regarding, and believe me, I don't walk gently when I am slicing distortion. You don't go, let me see if I can cut it. No, I go like this and it's done. And so my clients see it, feel it right away. So another stunning as fuck woman, she was talking about her man. And as I would, and this is someone very receptive, because when she was around me in my masculine energy career, she didn't try to argue. She didn't discuss, oh, but I got to tell you about this. No, she is one of the most receptive, and she matches a young adult also that I have. The two are very similar. Just absorbing everything I have to say. And then, oh my God, this just happened yesterday. And oh, yes, he said this. And oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So by the time we finished, she kind of like withdrew herself because she saw things very clearly. And in her mind, I believe she already kind of thought, I'm going to have to let him go because I see too much now. And I knew just because she was willing to walk, it's not that she was going to cut his balls off right there and go out the door, but she was ultra aware. So now she was armored from the inside. So her femininity could be unthreatening, doesn't need to look and search because she's unsure. She's not fucking sure. And when a woman is sure, then she walks in her dignity. She walks in a knowing. And when she did that, she was shocked to find out that her, as she shared with me, that her person actually wanted to work on the things that she was complaining about. It was the exact thing that she was, and she said to me, Nicole, it was like by magic. She didn't have to tell him. She didn't have to give him an ultimatum. She didn't have to go and force him. And I always say to my lady, you don't go and tell him to change. You change. You shift. And if you do it correctly, and there's no way you're not going to with me, unless we take a big break, he's going to have to up level or drop off because he cannot latch onto the ripped holes and the torn places in your blanket, because I have already sewn it together when you come to see me. So when that's done, you have a whole different take in life. And it's like everything gets done without you needing to do a thing when it's with clarity, when wisdom can dance between you two, because it comes from a safe place. Then everything that needs to be moving into the pieces to make things work, especially when it's destined to, it does work. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes a man has to like really hit bottom and feel what it's like without you to want to up level, especially when he's been corrupted for a long time. But that's just how it happens. So because her feminine energy was on the outside is why she was connected to the world, and miracles came. Easy things came. That's, if people want to know what I do, it's not that I do that, is that to really be concise, is that a Heyoka empath is a disrupting energy. I disrupt negative shit in you. It gets transmuted through me. It doesn't stain my blood, my energy. It goes through me. So I disrupt that. So what'll happen right at first when I disrupt that which appeared to be normal, that was siphoning and killing you softly, is that things will flare immediately it will flare a bit. And then that's because a Heyoka empath disrupts stagnant energies that are stuck. Disrupt. So things start to jiggle, avalanches here and there. And then what? Movement. Movement. All those rubbles come down and out. The water starts to flow. That's all. That's all. And that's why it's hard sometimes, because so many people, I want my brother to see you. I want my mother to see you. I want my dad to see you. I want my boyfriend. I'm like, no, you cannot. You cannot. They need to be pulled. And they will be pulled when they reap the benefits of how you change first and ask you, what the fuck? So distorted masculine women suppress their vulnerability because, as you can understand, it can't be there. They don't feel safe in the world. And then you, as a distorted feminine guy, makes them feel like that they have to take on your weight as well. It doesn't help them being your shrink. It only keeps them more in their head, which means then they have to connect sacrifice to love. And when they connect sacrifice and love together, they become a mother energy, because only a mother sacrifices. And then you're handicapped and enabled, dude. A lot of addictive personalities like that. And the women think they're helping you, but they're not. So distorted masculine women suppress their vulnerability because they've learned to survive instead of express. Those are the ones that get thyroid issues. Those are the ones that are in depression because it's really lack of expression. Those are the ones that have in their mind the repeated negative thought of like, when is it ever going to be my turn? It's like, I do this. When's it my turn to enjoy life? But they can't. They can't. For all these reasons that are, they feel guilty. They feel they need to suffer. Suffer feels normal. Suffer feels good. Then they get reward this. It's really messed up in so many multi-layers, like you don't even know. And unless you put a spotlight and you peel away each layer is it's like parasitical activity that keep laying eggs, and there's more layers, and you never feel the pee that you're fucking sleeping on. Too many layers, too many mattresses, you can't get there. These type of women, their boundaries are sharp, but they're inconsistent, which makes you as a guy unsure of how to engage authentically. Usually, men often misread this energy as hostility or detachment because it's missing the feminine trapped within them for those women. Distorted masculine women unconsciously always test loyalty. They'll be calculative. They'll test it. And I know that seems cruel, but they're actually expecting a man to prove worth repeatedly. And that's really interesting to explore, because it's not just about, they'll say it's experience, but it's the fact that they're not loyal to themselves. They're not loyal to themselves. So why would they trust you? They don't know what loyalty looks like. That's why they will make you, they'll repeatedly, they might even set up traps, set up a woman to come and talk or whatever. It's not malicious, but it's because they're in reverse and they have no sense of trust at all. They over rely on their logic and structure, and so that leaves no space for emotional flow, which means they confuse masculine men or distorted feminine men, completely confuse you. So a masculine woman's physical presence may be commanding, but her core feels unsupported, so she's insecure. There is an energy misalignment at the heart. Now, distorted feminine men are addicted to validation. They will seek reassurance while resisting responsibility, because it's almost again, they're in that mother energy, look, feel, I need, because they didn't get that. So it's kind of like, no, I need to get this. I don't need to be responsible here. Just let me know that first, that I am the thing, and then I'll show that when it's again in reverse, because it's disjointed. Distorted feminine men confuse control with care. That's big. So they offer advice or help while undercutting a woman's autonomy. That's huge. And masculine women feel unseen in intimacy. Their strength overshadows their inner need for support. So distorted feminine men also often sabotage energy through passive-aggressive tactics, which leaves the women questioning their own perception. And the reason is the reason why they go passive-aggressive is because they are embodying passive-aggressive energy. Your energy is naturally aggressive, but it's being suppressed with your passivity. So you will be too passive, which is not natural, and then you'll be the other side of too aggressive, and it almost looks like it comes from nowhere. The masculine women will carry high responsibility for their outcomes and everybody's outcomes. The men may lean into comfort without contributing because they're used to that. You make them lazy. The addictive behaviors that I spoke about with men, substance, work, whatever, social media, porn, phone, that actually drains a woman's energy. Subtle, slow erosion. It's a killer. Because she can't even feel why she feels tired around you. She can't feel. But that's because you're doing something that is so misaligned. The masculine women will often mirror the distorted masculine traits, which creates confusion and then power clashes for sure. And the distorted feminine men will fear, always, a true feminine presence. You'll call her too sensitive. Or you'll think she's too high and mighty just because she's unmoved. Because her energy is so fucking plugged in to another world that you can't touch it. She chooses, if she is to overspill it with you, share it with you, be and have it be a part of you, which acts as like a huge internal shield with negative debris and actually a wealth magnet. Your insecurity triggers, so let me just say this way. Distorted feminine men fear true feminine presence because your insecurity triggers projection, manipulation, or withdrawal. You'll do what women usually do. You'll be silent. That's such a femme bitch move. Women don't feel safe because energy is constantly hijacked in all these ways. So that, and especially when you're very emotional and they need to, and your emotions, you can't handle more than they can handle theirs, which makes your emotions bigger, which means a woman's safety of her emotions doesn't feel secure because her own expression will be muted in favor of yours. Because after all, you're falling apart. She's used to being in her logic, handling it a little bit longer, until she gets invisible to herself. And then she's no longer visible to you and she wonders why. And then you cheat because she's already in a mother energy and you're not attracted to that. Distorted masculine energy in women will make a man feel inadequate, pushing some to act out or to sabotage. But the biggest thing is that men misread strong women as too much, failing to see that safety is about emotional resonance, not compliance, emotional resonance. That's safety. To be just masculine women will often internalize blame for your reaction, not realizing that their energy is being reflected back, not created. The safety is only restored, and I won't say only, but I'll just say safety is restored when women are able to safely reclaim their feminine core, allowing and letting men meet them there, not in distorted patterns, but clarity that emerges so that men can't fake care or alignment. Does that make sense? Let me start asking some questions, and either I'll have people like, what are you talking about? Oh my goodness, no, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It's completely okay. Oh wow, let me make sure I've got everybody's questions here. All messages, okay. Okay, let me go to the beginning. Okay, I don't know what this person is talking about baking soda for. Okay, Tanya says, so anybody with an addiction is in the wrong. Of course they are, because you're feeling separated from your sense of self in that body and that sex. That's not to say that a transgender has all these other things. All I'm saying is that it's okay. Let me put it to you that way. Let me put it to you one way. An addiction is an escape. The actions that an addictive person takes is repetitive physical action. To do what? Nobody looks at that. I believe it is to bring them present to right now. What do you think eating a lot does? What do you think eating a lot does? Eating a lot because you're present, because when you're present, you're not connected to your pain of the past. So what is eating a lot? Eating a lot gets your senses awakened, this sense right here, to the present, to what you're tasting. Could be to what you're vaping, could be to what you're sniffing, it could be to the gambling, it could be whatever. Your senses are heightened to make you present. So it's not so cut and dry, but it, even on the most basic level, when you see someone have an addiction, do you think that they are solid in their sense of self? No. So there is a gap. I would say misalignment, energy is completely off, but I would say not just energy is off, but energy is off, and it's created a separation of themselves with themselves, a feeling solid in a safe place, completely content. So if a person has a gap between them and them, they will have to cling to any new person or any new habit to feel like they have a sense of unit of belonging to someone or something. That's why a lot of people form these hate things, because they have a unison with the hate. Never mind, most of those people that may hate you don't even like each other. Like, let's say all your family hates you. I guarantee they don't like each other. It's that kind of thing. It's just unity. And I believe that unity, that lack, it's not true unity, lacking, but it has been fed into us, I believe, from the first biblical story of Adam and Eve, when, as it is said, that Adam and Eve tasted the fruit, and that single first mistake was called a sin. So sin sounds like it's on purpose, but it was the first error. And then what happened, as we are told, what happened? They got cut off. They got cut off the heart of being with God, in his favor, being loved, and they got thrown out of the garden, a place of plenty. So now they are suffering, they are without, they are isolated. So When you have that picture, when your first association of love is that which, I don't know if I'm enough. I don't know when I should stop proving. I feel guilty for some reason. I need to give more. Oh, I can't believe they love me. Where do you think all that comes from? If our first association of love and true love was with God, and a lot of us were, and then simultaneously we were taught of love, and then that got mixed in with, oh, but there was a sin. That means I committed crime. But it was a first error. It was a mistake. It was a temptation. And it was an error. And it was the first one. It wasn't multiple times. It was the first one. Correct me if I'm off. I'm not a religious, a Bible studier. I don't know what the name they call it. Something with the T. But from what I've reviewed, it's like any other children that go eat dirt, that go experiment, that go try to do something that's beyond the bound. That's how they grow. It was said that at that point, no, God didn't love you, and now you live in shame, and now there's a separation. What do you think that would make you feel about love? Why? Like, yes, we know our mother was like this, our father was like this, the last guy was like this, but that's not where it started. That's not where it started. It started with the idea of love being that the one mistake, where do you think you get, oh, I need to be perfect from? Where does that even come from? You'd think we were created by IAs, or should I say dyslexic, AIs. I believe it's come from there. I believe it was twisted from there. I'm not slamming all the stories, but I am reviewing the story that to me, it's just not clear. It just doesn't feel real. The energy is misaligned there. Because whenever you have a negative outcome, if you trace that, let's say a seed grows into a gross flower, you don't just look at the flower and you go, oh, somebody walked and kicked over the flower. That's why it was weak and already in the way of the person who walked. You go and you look to see how it was watered, and was the seed a good seed? Was it a bad seed? Was it already left too outside in the sun? Was it already in the water? Was there mold on it? You go to the fucking seed. Well, I went to the seed. So I believe that all the issues come from a sense of a separation from self. And self is God's separation, because God is a part of you. He's not out there in a building. If God is consciousness, not actually a man with two legs, if God is all universe and everything, that is where we've come from. And that is also why, and it's not ironic, that the 6 ingredients that make up stardust is the 6 ingredients in a human being, which I mentioned on my last live, and a lot of people freaked out. Google that. How is something that fucking so important gets left out of the school's curriculum? Oh yeah, Rockefeller, he's the one that started the schools, that's right, and he was quoted saying what? I don't want a nation filled with thinkers. I want a nation filled with workers. So we learn things like fucking science and algebra, and like I need to know of the times per square velocity of that rock falling off the street lamp and hitting, the ground at what decibel. Excuse me? Or I need to learn about Iroquois Indians. Maybe if it's part of that country, but I mean, and it's a beautiful culture. And I actually, me personally, enjoyed it, but not everybody enjoyed. And geography, what am I going to, am I working in a submarine? Why do I need to learn geography? because these were set up so that I remember I was in high school and I was remembering I was in kind of like a real kerfuffle. I don't know if they still say that, but I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I looked at all the things that I could be going into college or university, and I'm like, nothing here, a policewoman, a firewoman, a fucking administration, a hygienist, a secretary, okay, a doctor. I was searching for something that inspired me, and there was nothing. So I left high school. And I went and I took 3 jobs. And I followed my bliss, because I know that was with movement. And that, that got me into take a huge risk to go to LA, while most girls are still, just learning about life when they get right out of high school and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so let me continue to read. Hold on. Thank you. You're welcome, Ronnie. Ronnie, thank you so much. Sorry, this isn't Ronnie. This is the fallen slave us all. I'm going to change. We're going to have to maybe creatively get you a more powerful name, although I completely feel where you're at. They say Snoopy was the coolest. Yeah, I totally stole the show, but I was like, why won't they make me a girl? Why do I have to be like an old man who leads many boys? Okay, granted. And a dog, like, it was a bit of something for someone that was a loner. But thank you so much. That's so touching. Aw, Zoe. Oh, Zoe, you so touch my heart. Let me just feel that for a second. I don't know what made Zoe say this, and I think Zoe's a girl's name, but sometimes it can be a guy's name. I don't even care if you're a squirrel at this point, but Zoe said, you're beautiful. And I think it's very multi-layered. I think this person feels my energy. Or how much you mean to me and my work with you. Thank you. Thank you. And and you know why that touches me so? Because being on my TikTok channel to like 154K people and many, many thousands of clients there, I take advantage of all the glamour filters and makeup and things. And I'm not used to being raw like this. And the first day when I did a live here, it was like 50 people. And I'm like, oh, good. Thank God there's not a lot of people see me. And I was going to get my lashes done. I was going to get my hair colored. And I was going to get it on nice and thick. And I don't know. I was going to do a bunch of things. And then I just went the way I was. And yeah, there was one shitty comment. It's probably someone that I blocked on my TikTok. And there was one. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh, I was talking about my vulnerability. I was sharing it with everybody, and one woman said, I don't know why you don't think you're, I don't know you, but you're enough. And I'm like, oh, I know I'm enough, but I fucking like to wear makeup, okay? And I like to look dazzling, and I don't like to always look natural like this. I love colors. I love looking dynamic. I love looking mesmerizing, but she interpreted it as if I don't feel enough. Her heart was in the right place, but it was very warped because she sees that as something negative. Just like many women, I'm like, oh, you're wearing a filter. And I'm like, I'm glad you don't need glasses. And what's your point? Yeah. Oh, are those your eye colors, or did you get contacts? I'm like, no, they are my eye colors, and my eyes change. But I want to give this to you all since we're on this topic. Do you realize, and maybe for those that get this from other people, when people compare, this is such a juicy piece of information, insight. When people compare, do you know what they're really doing? You know what their energy is saying? I want a reason to tell me why I can't look like that. Oh, your hair, those extensions. I'm like, whether they're extensions or snake testicles or whatever. I'm like, do you like it? Yeah, can I touch it? No, you can't. You know, these people put it in their head that, oh, if it's this, I can't. Well, okay, if you can't and you won't and you don't, but this person wants to, let them. I remember, I don't know where I was. There was a young adult there. She just had her mouth, her lips done Botox, but a lot. It looked good. It was a little bit swollen, but it still enhanced. I thought she looked very beautiful to me. It was just a tad swollen, and yeah, she was like 21 or 22, and those enhancements usually women in their 30s and up usually get them. Okay, fine, but I started to see, we were in Starbucks, girls snickering, and she was all by herself, and I didn't like the other girls snickering, so I went over to her. And I looked at her and I said, I didn't say, you look beautiful and, oh, your lips look amazing. That's the worst way to emphasize and make someone aware of something they already like. Don't do it like that. I went and I looked inside of her, which I can do to every single person. And I said, do you know what pulled me? I have to come and sit you. I have to just tell you something. And I started just talking about her, how important her beauty is to the frequency of the fucking planet. And I said to her, which I'd like to give to all of you, when us women, and I know we won't feel like, I don't want to use the word enhancing ourselves. We won't feel like playing with our hair or coloring our hair or putting things in our hair to make it feel more mystical, more glamorous, more in a different timeline, or eyeliner to get a cat look, or shinies. I put this shine, and actually it was fucking frying my lips. I'm like, oh my God, is this one of those things that is going to make it poofy? I don't know, but it was interesting. It was clear. And when you don't feel like doing that, it's because people are draining you. Or you're in the mindset where I don't have to prove myself. I'm going to go like this. They can take it or leave it. In other words, your beauty, you don't want anyone to get off on it, because so nobody has been for you there ever that they can fuck off and die. You've got beautiful lips, like you're going to look as plain as you can. You may have a mohawk, whatever. No one's getting off anything of me, because you have been so unsupported. They don't actually fucking know what a lethal weapon your beauty is. I was in a place where I was hated by this one girl in Starbucks. She had an attitude. Everybody there loved me, all the young adults, while I was working on my first book, The Wisdom of the Penis, SOS Manual. It's on Amazon. Fucking game changer. Ball buster, for sure. So I was working, and it's all in slang. Like, if you're a young adult, you're just not going to put it down. It also acts as your own private oracle. So it's don't even ask me how I made it so that when you do open it up, it just gives you something. It's not a fortune cookie. It's not, oh, you're going to meet a blue tree and say hi. It's nothing like that. It's like, fucking for real. You're going to cry because it's going to take out this stone in your heart you didn't even know was there. So I could tell through the fucking mirror. Every time I was working on my book, she'd be wiping the counter. She'd go, she'd give me a face as I would talk, because I had young adults crawling like 18, 19, 20 all over my little desk every day when I would write, because they wanted insight about their boyfriend issue. And I said, well, just bring me a picture. And I would bring them a picture. And it would be like looking at fucking 100. You think it was a casting call. It was hilarious, right? Because I would interview them about their slang, and I would interview about the current issues, which were, by the way, all the same issues that I went through and that my mom went through. It's the same shit that the guys do, man. And someone had to call it out, and that was me. And so I saw her from the window. One day I got my hair colored. I went full on makeup. I came in. She's like, what? She's like, hi. And I'm like, hi, bitch. I didn't say the bitch part, but I was like mentally, but acted like nothing was wrong. She could not do enough for me. I'm letting you know right now, it's not about trying to outdo the makeup world of 4-inch makeup and 3 feet eyelashes. It's about when you have to do a double take to you. There's a difference when a woman or a girl puts on a makeup and she looks the same with colors. That does not enhance her. And there's a difference when you know how to do what you do and you just pop and you feel powerful. You feel powerful. You ever notice at the end of the day you're exhausted, but you're a woman? You go get your pedicure done. What is that? Someone fucking cuts your nails and put some color on. You have all this energy to go out now with your friends. Or even when they do your nails, you see this color. You see color. And it excites you. We cannot be without these things. Because our body's estrogen based, our power base is through things we do from the neck down. Not think about, not listen to and get drained about, unless it's music that takes us away, unless we're looking at beauty, unless we're smelling this aroma or this lemon or this vanilla. I remember I was in the gym one day and this girl was there and this guy was waiting for her. It looked like it would be her brother and he had fucking cologne on. And it was a good one though. And I went over to the bench and I went, I'm in a romantic mood all of a sudden. And I said, you just like knocked me out of gym mode. And now I need to go. I want a man like right now in my life. I feel like being a girlfriend all of a sudden, but that's what it does. That's what it does. So it was really, really beautiful. But for those women who have been hurt, and I'll say mostly let down, and then I'll say mostly disappointed, they don't want to take their package of sprinkles. They want to strip off all the sprinkles off the package. They want to take off the tissue paper of the gold, and they want to just leave the brown tissue paper, and that's them. They want to take off what they've come with instead of add the ribbons and maybe add a few sparkles. They want to take, and they will notice that once they do, the whole world wants to give to them. They are nice to them. It is not because you've got two playful whales and you've got like imported goods going on. It's your bust, whatever. It's not that. It's when a woman has given herself consensus to do that, and she looks at herself and she is so happy with herself. Do you know how many people's, it's not just making their day. Do you understand that, wow, this is so intense, that when a man is just standing next to you, you are enhancing his whole entire fucking immune system. And I've told my ladies, I would fucking send him a bill, especially if it's a date. But everybody that walks by you is elevated. Do you understand? It's a critical time now where our earth is, what's being divided between the 3D way of being, which is attachment to pain, shame, guilt, and blame, theatrics, toxic theater, and 5D, blink, this is what I want in my life, that's what I see happening. No effort, no nothing, I just have to think it. This is what I need right now, and it happens. Your energy field is not fractured by anything toxic around you, anybody draining, leaking your light. The man around you is supportive. He can hold the girl. And so literally the girls sprout wings, and this mystical business about her start to happen. I kid you not, the only frequency that elevates the world out of a scarcity mentality and hate is beauty. This is why a guy can be mad. He can be anything. He sees something and he's... It disconnects him from his IRS lobe of his brain, of what he was currently on, of anger. Instant, no pain. That's what beauty does. It can be a baby fawn. It can be a baby chick. It can be an animal. It can be a baby. It can be a 95-year-old woman and her 105-year-old man. It can be any of these things. Do you see how that makes you emotional? It's there to release stuck energy of pain and elevate the world. Even if you don't have stuck pain, it gets your energy high. So this is not a vain shit thing. Don't let your friends fuck you up. It gets people's energies high. And when you get a person's energy high, you are valuable as fuck. And then life bends backwards for you, including these people. Let me see here. Alexandra says, so thank you, Zoe. Alexandra said, I'm guilty of that. Wasted so much time letting them play their games. You're not guilty of that. You just didn't see that. I would not use the word guilty, Alexandra, because, let me see, now I just test all the time. Yeah, that's why, let me tell you why you test all the time and why you'll never feel free to know that none of that will come into your field. When you say a word like, I'm guilty of that, do you know what that does to you? To your whole energetic field? Guilt has one function, one job, one purpose. My people, they've memorized this because I've etched it in their skin, in their energetic blueprint. I branded it in some of their skulls. Guilt seeks punishment in every area of your life. You are anticipating and you must bring to you, and you need it to fill your quota of pain. So that's a perpetual loop. And if you want to get rid of that, I really gently nudge, book a session. Really a mini session package of 3, but even 1 to make you, what I do is I put a spotlight on things that are plugged inside. When you hear it, it resonates as true, and you're like, not like, I remember, more like, something inside opens, and things are different. Let's move on. Sherry says, as you talked about the signs or reasoning behind the interactions between distorted energy in each sex, I could cry. I could see what I was doing and why. Oh my God, Sherry, that is huge. That's really powerful, baby. That is so huge. That is awesome. That is big. Oh, third plane. Okay, third plane. I finally got what you have been communicating, that if sin means separation from God, we would not feel confident in love, because love is God, and turn against ourselves, not believing that we are good enough for love. Bingo. And all that is in the Supernatural Badass that I haven't finished writing, that I know you can't wait for. So I'm glad you got it now rather than a year from now. That is so, let that sit with you, Sherry, because that's really big for you, love. Very big. Day. It's the focus on self that is wrong, referencing the Adam and Eve story. I don't know what way you mean that. Can you elaborate on that? Therefore, trying to prove ourselves. Yes. Hey, Kimmy, you made it. I'm so happy you made it. Yes. Okay, so when you say be yourself always, you need to understand, if you're torn, if you feel a gap, if you feel separated from self, if you feel guilty, don't be yourself, because that's not yourself. That's your separated version of self. So although it's very widespread in all healing schmealing books, be yourself, do not be yourself if that is not your authentic self and you don't even know how to plug into self. And it's so funny because when I was a girl, my mom never gave me advice. She would give it to everybody, but she wouldn't give it to me. I was bleeding for it, but she said, your instincts and your intuition. No, she said instincts. Your instincts are very, very strong. How do you feel about it? I said, Mom, can you just give me a fucking answer? When a guy does this, what does it mean? Like, I was fascinated, right? She never answered me. And I wrote this in The Wisdom of the Penis because I think a lot of young adults go through it, and that was this. So you have adults saying to you, just be yourself. I would say to my mom, I have so many different ramifications of myself. Like, how would I even know which self to be at what time? Like this is like, is this a trick question? Don't tell me to be myself. I'm going to bust a casket or a gisket or whatever the fuck the word is. I'm going to bust it because that's crazy. That's like the stupidest response. It gets you lost, that response. Yes, self-care is self-love. Sherry says, I love that you say our beauty is important to the frequency of the planet. Oh my God, if you only knew. You know, it's sad that whatever the world sees as powerful that moves people, they quickly take it, because this is Matrix talk, they quickly take it, distort it, make it negative. Like, let's say there's a beautiful woman. They make that shallow and vain. Instead of having that woman inspire all women to be as self-cared as she is about herself, and knowing that her priority is taking care of herself. And then we get the mothers and we get the sacrificial bitches who are like, no, I don't care about how I look. I'd rather care for other people. Yes, I know you believe that you will go to heaven and get extra brownie points, but really that's not it. Because you are killing the one thing heaven gave you, which is your feminine divine energy, which is meant to elevate the planet. Not just elevate horn dog to man, but elevate the planet. It's not a daisy flower. It's a very powerful, a lot of people don't know what feminine divine power is. It's not dark energy, witchy schmitchy. It's not that. And it's not, oh, just be soft and wear lipstick and let them pay. It's so much more. Do you understand? Those who know me, they know this, but I'm going to tell the new people here because it's just a crazy thing. When I had a guy pick me up and I was with him, he would knock on the door and I would answer the door, and I was very busy that day cleaning up. And when he got there, and then I was getting ready to go with him, he's like, baby, I don't know why I got this mint ice cream. I don't fucking even like mint ice cream. And I'm like, oh, honey, that's me. And he's like, did you do that thing? Did you do that thing that you do, that you plant that thing that you want and you put it in my mind? Why didn't you just fucking text me? I hate when you do that. I feel like a fucking puppet. And I'm like, I was too busy. Because divine feminine energy. You know how men have their penis? Well, we impregnate in man that which we desire. We have our spiritual penis, in a way. And you would have to be so authentic, so powerful inside, that without effort, you would feel like this. And it's you don't even have to think of the guy. Your mind and your soul knows it's directed to him. I feel like chocolate mint ice cream. I'm not going to take time to fucking text and schmecks. I'm a busy woman. Can you imagine a relationship like that? How fucking scared he was all the time. No, because when you have something like that, you don't, what's the word? You don't misuse things like that. But I really had a lot of fun, put it that way. I had a lot of fun. So that comes with a woman who is in her state of beauty. when you are a woman in your state of beauty, it's not just your beauty, it's your authentic nature. When all those are aligned, you have no idea. You have no idea of the power you have, because you are clueless to the role you have on the planet. These things are not given to half-ass women. They're not given to skanks. They're not given to women who read all these psychological power play books on how to fuck up a man and then fucking rule him. They're not given to those women. Those bitches need to rely on books and tips and tricks. But the women that come with me, they get aligned this way when things start to just happen, and they are amazed. I remember having a woman, she was on a break, and I gave her a couple instructions on just what to do to get her divineness in order, because she was with a guy that questioned everything, and he was a femme guy, so he was into equality. He didn't understand why he looked at it as paying, as him having to pay for the date. And it was so funny. I saw today a TikTok, and this guy was randomly asking women, what would you say to a guy who asked you, what are you bringing? This is in my book. I fucking wrote about this in The Wisdom of the Penis, which was written a while back, because it took me so many years, right? So he asks, because it's still around in a very big way, he says, ladies, as he's asking each one on the sidewalk, what would you say to a man who says, what are you bringing to the table? And all these women were saying different things. What did this woman says? Oh yeah, she said, get a waitress or something. But I like to answer truthfully. And somebody had told me just recently, your sarcasm, it's just so deep with meaning. I said, no, I really meant what I say. He says, but I saw the way you meant it. I said, yeah, but I was just being truthful. He says, but it's just the way you do it. Because they can't argue the truth. You can't. So what I wrote in my book, and I'm just going to give this to all the women, the next time, first of all, if a guy is saying, what are you bringing to the table? Understand you've connected and plugged into a femme guy. You need to go repeat that, and then go, I thought I heard that, and then just walk. If you're doing this for study of human nature, of the animal of man, and you want to study a horn dog, you can take your notes while you're there, and he can say something like, so what do you bring to the table? Just, what is it that you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? I am the whole table. I am the fucking table. I am. And you're sitting at my table. My table is allowing your energy to be near my table. So the thing is, when a woman's in her masculine energy, she will be pulled and tempted to debate and outdo. She will veer far away from her truth, which is her fucking power. And that's a thing that's really sad about a lot of you. That's what, one second. That's what is actually messing with you. You're trying to debate. You're trying to up one. You're trying to win. When you've won, you're not on that chess game. Do you understand? You're not there. You're not that game. That's the biggest challenge for me with my ladies. Yeah. So when a guy wants you to dress down, oh my God, not put on makeup, oh my God, go as it. I've never been around a man who said, just, you're fine the way you are. That is a man who has you for convenience, who wants to hurry up and get there, and you're his playmate. There is no sexual attraction. Or you've taken on the mother role. Again, no sexual attraction. I don't know what that is, Mr. Actic. But I'll just remove it. Kimmy is laughing. It's not that he wanted a tomboy. First of all, a part of you used to be a tomboy. What he was responding to is the casual way of which you have a relationship with him, which is like brother, sister, roommate, because you've already done too much or slept too early and become like roommates, not dates. So beautiful. Caravo, George Caravo. Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Julia says, I wish I was told that I was told that I was asking too much. Okay, let me make this very clear. I'm glad this came up. Oh, this is so beautiful. Julia and all us women. Let me say this calmly. It is not that you were asking for too much. It is that you were asking for too little, which spurred that comment from him. When you ask for the truth of all it is that you want, see, you were trying to dim your light and dim your worth. And so you got the response, the mirror of what you were doing, him dimming you, him reflecting to you that you're too much because you didn't ask for all that you want, you fucking liar. Never again. Never again. Never again. You know, I could just stand on top of a rooftop and yell, just be fucking authentic, just be fucking real, but no one would get it. How many ways we hold back. That's not to say if you're in a dangerous situation, if your family's fucked and you're waiting to escape, if you're with roommates or really people that are toxic or whatever, that you need to be pure logic, not heart-led, mind-led, cordial, withdrawn. And I want to show you something. When someone is around you, let's say you're in a meeting, let's say you're in a date, let's say you're in a group, let's say with your family, okay, and they're talking shit about someone else, which is really bad energy anywhere. They're talking shit about another family member, or they're bringing down a certain class of people, or people war, oh, we should kill them all, and that kind of fuckery. And you don't want that fracturing your field, because your field is being built to have a life of beauty where nothing touches you. This is what you do. Just once. Sound breaks fucked frequency. I'm sure you know to take a salt bath in all the typical ways, but I usually like to tell people things that are not so common. Yeah, Kimmy would walk away. Good girl. Sherry says, if a man tries to tell you that you are not talking right, just to get the point. Okay. Fuck. This is like a movie. This should be all a movie. When a man who's in his logic is in his right, wrong, black, white, because that's what logic is about, okay? When a man tells you you're wrong and he is right, he is seeing you as an equal, right? He's not seeing you as a woman who feels this way, so it's true to her. Unless you present it as a thought and you go, well, I think this and this and that, then he'll say, you're wrong. But that's still a femme guy, because a man who's anchored in his strength is not threatened by the fact that you have a fucking different opinion. He'll go, oh, okay, interesting. I have no idea how you see that. And then you'd go, yeah, that's how I see it. And then that's it. And you be your little playful self, and he be his, I see it definitely this way, and I'm going to stick with that. That's how it goes. But when a man has to especially point at you, Notice there's 3 fingers pointing at him. When a person has to mention how wrong you are, not that I don't agree with you, not that, oh, maybe you're off, like, let's look at this angle. That's an intelligence. That's emotional intelligence. That's man. When someone says, you're wrong, it threatens his structure. The man that says you're wrong and is the same man that also communicates in a way that is distorted. And you respond to that and he says to you, you didn't get that right. Well, wait a minute, did you not say these words, blah, 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 blah? Yeah, but that's not what I meant. Well, it's what you said. I'm not in there, I'm out here. He won't see it as a miscommunication on his part. We need to recognize that sooner than later. Secure men are amused by us. Are amused by, especially, I remember seeing a movie with well, let me just check the time. We're almost done. Okay, just a few more minutes. With Antonio Banderas, and this lady took a fit, and I forget who she was. She's a blonde lady, and he just went. He looked at her. It was like he was watching a species. It was the most brilliant, masculine connection dynamic between a woman who lost it and had a freak dance, and him watching her, not watching like you're fucked, but watching her like, okay, this is how woman is. It was just like he's an alien and taking mental notes. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful to see that. If a man tries to tell you that you are not talking right, when a man says you're not get to the point, you already know what this means. So a woman's way of talking is elaboration and details. When a man says just get to the point, he's patient. He's not interested in you. There's no romantic dynamic. And if it is a brother, there is a disrespect, and for sure he's a femme guy, for the woman in you to elaborate in the way, just get to the point. It means your presence, your value, your time with him. It's not being valued, and he sees it. He's tolerating you for whatever he needs from you. That's what that is. I have tended to make points through stories like you. Okay, so be careful with that. When you hear especially the insight that I talk, I've had a couple people try, I even had a psychologist try to give it to her client. The client almost sued her. Like, it'd be better for you to talk to me about doing an event with your whole family of 5 people, whatever, than try to get the sharp insight I've given you, because they have not been broken into, and you're going to rip them open. It's going to be painful. They're going to lash out because they're bleeding. It wasn't gentle. There was no foreplay. I've done a lot of foreplay with all you. I've been gentle long time, warming you up. And I'll say that. Well, of course, if a guy's trying to silence you, then he doesn't value you. I'm no longer afraid to be myself, unfiltered. Kimmy, I'm so proud of you. Oh, Francesco Solomon, love you. I wonder, what part of me do you love? Is it like my hair? Is it my glasses? I know you're going to say something like your energy, right? I'd be curious, though. Sherry says, my girlfriend said that she thought a man I was with was secretly gay, and you said that he wanted a playmate. The guys that want playmates are not necessarily gay. They're just femme guys that are looking for a way for a human being, a companion, to make, so they don't want to be alone, so that their life is a little bit more interesting. That's all. And each is using each other, artificially so. How does a woman know for sure if he's not gay? Oh, that's a real tough one. You would have to really be authentic in your energy and feel in your energy. That's the only thing that can't be what's the word? Can't be faked as energy, but you'd have to be able to read energy, honey. I could cry listening to you say they would be amused by us. Yeah, that's a real man. It will come, love. Oh, thank you, Kimmy. It was always stories from my own experience. Okay, this man doesn't value you. And I think maybe you wanted to tell him your stories because you wanted him to value you. Don't cast your pearls to pigs. That's all I'm saying, especially femme pigs. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for allowing me to be outside. I felt so good. The next live, and I'm going to do the next live. I'm going to switch it towards, the next live, hold on, I have the title here somewhere. The next live is going to be about, and this one is so important for the women. The hidden cost of being strong, why your glow is fading. I can't have your glow fade. And so I'm going to cosmic slap you in the most delicious, sweet way that I know how. All right. And that's going to be Thursday. I've been asked to do another time, 7 p.m. ET time. I don't know if I'm going to stick to it. That's going to be really late for me in the day. But I'll give it a shot, and I'll see how the turnout is. But that we're going to aim for that Thursday, 7 p.m. ET time, on particularly strong women and how and why that makes your glow fade. All these videos and lives that I'm doing are all about the same thing, but I just want to drill it in so compact like that it's automatic. And Sherry, I can tell by your questions that you're starting to feel what is off and this and that, and I know that you're naming it a lot better now. It's just, for right now, the dollhouse that you have are filled with not real dolls. They're like paper dolls, paper tigers, men. And so you don't know how to navigate there, because if you call everything for what it is, you'd be like really on your own. But that's okay to go a little bit on your own until things turn around. Hold on. You're welcome, Sherry, very much. I love this live. You're welcome. Yes, please. Thank you, Kimmy. Please cosmic slap me, because I really hate feeling like I need to be strong. You know, the other thing about you, Sherry, which I'm going to say, and this is for all you women, for those women, this will be for next time, but let me see if I can say it quickly. For the women who've had a lot of things, you have an etheric shield around you. When a baby's born, it has an etheric shield. Those of us that have been touched, that shield has some rips in it, okay? So it's frightening, and there is a scary feeling because, and only because, it's not that the world is scary. It's that the negative entities that are living within people, minds, and sick fucks, energies that you're hypersensitive to, that have rips now, call them in. So you're perpetually haunted. So what I would recommend for you, Sherry, is your body needs to be grounded in something. And this is also for any of you. Either, I'm not a taekwondo person and karate and all that. I don't like that. I don't like hurting my hands. But I would definitely do weights. I would get your bitch ass girl music and I would go do weights. Because when the masculine protection blanket, etheric shield isn't there, and you're solid and you're firm, you're not just like flimsy, like a willow tree. And you ever notice these flimsy, skinny girls always have someone strong around them? You, especially when you come from that blueprint, for those women that do. I promise you, you have no idea. And especially if you're not eating protein, that's the first thing I would change, because protein makes our mind feel safe. Protein and fat. Not beans and lentils and fartville. I mean beef. I mean eggs. I mean lamb, butter, avocado. You just feel grounded to earth, because when that part of your mind that's been scared, that's through the tears in your ribs of your etheric shield, which is a spiritual shield, you just keep going into the ethers of darkness because you have nothing keeping you in your body. Jumping up and down does it also, like on the walking outside barefoot, if you're in a country that does that, for sure. But I'm telling you, nothing does it like weights. And I would do it all to femme bitch music, like, I mean, really feminine, like kick-ass. It's Raining Men and all these oldies but goodies, whatever. Okay, I'll cosmic slap you. See, here's the thing. You feel supported with me, not because, if you look on TikTok or anywhere, you will see hardcore women who are devoid of emotion. And you know they're hardcore. Why don't you trust them? Why are you pulled to me? Because I cry so easily with you. Because even though I'm in my masculine energy, when I am instructing or giving insight, whatever you want to call it, my heart is right in front of my eyes when I look at you. I do not see you except through my heart. So I feel you. And I have no problem having my tears give it song and dance, having me leaking a story, leaking a language as I feel what you're going through. And I do that often with my clients when we have a session. And it is for that reason that you feel strong, that you see me that way. Because you see that the crying is not choke holding me, I'm choke holding the crying. I'm squeezing it all out. It's not squeezing my soul. It's going through me as it needs to with you. Baraka, hi there. We were just finishing. I love how you're making friends, everybody. Humans are carnivores, yes. Would a vibration plate also help? I don't know too much about that. I've heard a lot of things, grounding mat and stuff. I'm just, it's kind of like someone saying, to be peaceful, go listen to this special orchestra and this special machine, when you can just go in front of a lion from a distance and watch the lioness lick her cubs. It's like that. I don't think anything matches that. So I don't think anything matches the weights in the gym. I know it's not for every girl. I know for me it's gold. For me it's my place where my sensuality is open and free, and I can be as animals I like, and I let out my grounds, my moans, my things, and no one, it just, and the men can see the intensity in what you are, and you just know that they so level up when they see a woman pushing her little weight with all her might. It's a beautiful interaction. You have no idea who you'll meet. So I can only speak about that which I know. And there are so many supplements. 5-HTP, SAMI, those are both serotonin level uppers. And we need serotonin in our brain to feel the natural happiness. But what most people don't know is if you're not sleeping 9:30, 10, you don't get a solid wake up at 7, you're missing your 11 to 1. That's very important, because 11 to 1, your brain has a whole university in there. You have no idea what the fuck cleaning it does. The energies of the day that were toxic debris between 11 to 1, that means deep sleep. It rakes it. Like when you have a rake, taking the rake of the water with all the leaves in your front porch, it rakes that shit from 11 to 1. Do you know what it does from 1 to like 4? It then chips away at the trauma, call it that is now frozen like an iceberg. That is taking up all the space like shit in your stomach when you have to poop. Why are you not happy? How come you have such a cute smile after you do poo-poo? It's like the best feeling in the world. Nobody even writes about it. Because you have space. Because toxicity is not there. And you have toxicity, especially those that have had a few things happen, and not enough fresh energy and grounded energy to power hose and melt that iceberg. When you don't sleep from 1 to 4, which is the deepest sense of sleep, after sleeping from the 11 to 1, which means you're out like 10:30, you never get to the crusty part, the iceberg part. And if you just go to sleep all the time at 1, you just get more and more debris of every day. You don't get empty. So energetic constipation is fear. Nothing flowing. Nothing coming through the glass. It's marred. No sun, no warmth, no cold, only cold. No warmth equals darkness equals separation. That's all you have to remember. And talking about your things with the wrong people just reinforces I'm of fuck value, I'm of no value, and it goes back to all those horrendous experiences where they made you feel that way. Do you see the fucking cycle? You cannot talk about your shit to shit people. Good talk. Thank you, love. Thank you for the heart. Kimmy, positive energy attracts positive energy. Yes. Power versus force. Yes. I cultivate the art of effortlessness. You must be in your divine sense of self, Baraka. We need more men and women balanced in energy. Yeah, that's what this whole 2 hours was about. I'm so sorry you missed it, but don't worry. It's going to be up on my channel. I would totally listen. And then if you want to comment, I will answer, honey. True. Open the heart. Okay, we're talking about Tao and Shmao. That's all good, but really, you will be in a sense of Tao if you are aligned in your feminine divine energy of present energy of your vagina energy, not mixed with man energy of overdoing, overproving, over this. Because all those things is a distorted masculine energy in a woman suffocating her feminine energy and having her feminine energy, instead of on the outside feeling in sync with the university, trapped on the inside. That's why she can't talk. Bye-bye, toxic people. Car, you repeat the circle. I don't know what that means, Julia. I don't know what that means. Okay, everybody. I'm going to let you go for now. I'll be back to talk about the hidden cost of being strong, the traits of that as a woman. And I'm not talking about being powerful, because that's alignment. I'm talking about being strong, distorted masculine energy in a woman, and why your glow is fading. You're welcome, Sherry. You did amazing. Bye, everybody.